It's now been 10 years since the war in Syria began, and due to the pandemic, Syrian children are in more urgent need of help than ever.
World Vision is raising funds in Taiwan to support the war-torn country at this unprecedented time. Formosa News reporter Stephany Yang speaks to an aid worker on the ground in Syria.
Over the course of the last decade, Syria has been a country devastated by war. According to a report by World Vision and Frontier Economics, Syria is one of the worst places in the world to be a child. Girls live with the fear of being raped, and children are routinely recruited to fight. An estimated 82% of recruited children are used in direct combat, and 25% of them are under 15 years old. Since the start of the war, 55,000 children have been killed.
We are on the brink of losing a generation of Syrian children if we don't act now. And what we need to do, and what we really urge the kind people of Taiwan to do, is to really commit and ask their governments to continue scale up their support to protect these children, because they are survivors and they need to have the opportunity to recover.
Since last year, the pandemic has complicated Syria's plight. Northwest Syria, which only has 9 hospitals, has been overwhelmed with COVID cases. Nearly 50% of reported cases in the region have resulted in death. The COVID crisis has been especially devastating for children.
Since COVID-19 started, we have seen an increase of cases in which children had to drop out of school in order to be able to support families. What does that mean? It also means that it increases their risk to get, for example, exposed to other negative coping mechanisms. So I remember our field teams telling me that they see children, small children, begging at night on the streets without any supervision, without anyone to support them, and they are quite far from home.
World Vision is calling for Taiwanese to donate online to support the war-torn nation. Over the past 10 years, World Vision Taiwan has partnered with 35 partner organizations to raise a total of $319 million for Syria.
The resource that we raised within Taiwan, actually, we have been able to pool all the resources, not just from Taiwan, but also from different countries, into this big scale emergency response, which cannot be handled by one single office. So basically, we are be able to raise some resources from within the countries, and thanks to the warm heart of the public, Taiwanese public, and also the government as well, to respond to this emergency. So for the little resource we have, I will say maybe few millions, very few millions, and to into this pool for responding to this big scale emergency.
World Vision has been supporting Syrian children since the war's outbreak. They have supported millions of Syrian children with education, healthcare, and clean water.
We have supported around 7 million children across the region. Another story that I could recall is the story of Rahma, a beautiful 8-year-old girl who also had to be displaced with her mother. And because I don't know if you've ever been in the camps, but the camps are crowded. There is no specific road or paved road. So it's quite dense and suffocating as well. So Rahma just wanted to move around, and she got into a car accident, but her family had no money to support her and to provide her with anything in terms of medical care. So she had to stop going to school. She had stopped going out of her little tent that was poorly damaged, like poorly, raised up. And so what we did is that we managed to get her into our child-friendly spaces at that time, and give her access to non-formal education, but we also supported with the medical costs so she could then return to her normal life.
This aid worker in Syria says winter has affected many Syrians who live out in the elements in extremely low temperatures. Now they face the threat of COVID-19, making it even harder to access healthcare and social distance. Formosa News, Stephany Yang, Chen Bohan in Taipei.